Steelernation. Get out of my face. Steelernation. It's your man KevEze. Shout out to the Steelernation. Shout out to the guys. And you know, if you're a betting man, you gotta pay up on your debts. It just wasn't y'all week. Undisclosed amount. Good morning, Steelernation. It's your man KevEze. I got the producer in the background, you know what I'm saying? But I'm coming to you live, Victory Monday, because it's the morning after. Let's get into it. The Steelers took on the Philadelphia Eagles. PA rivalry. The Steagles. 6 championships to 1. They have a more recent one, but we have 6. Carson Wentz, 2 picks. We're going to get into that. Coming into this game after having an unexpected bye week, my question was, will the defense be rusty? Or will Ben be rusty? I'll start with the offense, but Ben wasn't really rusty. I felt like Ben kind of picked it up where he left off at in week 3. Big Ben had a fairly good game, man. 27-34 for 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. Big Ben is not turning the ball over like that this year, and that should be noted, respected. I know the media is not going to cover it, but that's why I will, man. So, Ben had a good game, and he found a brand new target, man, and Chase Claypool. The highlight of the day and the story of the game is the rookie Chase Claypool totaled 4 touchdowns. First of all, he was the first rookie Steeler to have a receiving touchdown and a rushing touchdown since Franco Harris. Not James Franco, Jonathan Velma. Good Lord, what type of day he had. The kid had 7 grabs for 110 yards, averaging 15 yards a catch. His longest was a 35-yard touchdown, where it was pretty much, he probably caught it for 10 and ran for 20, 25. You know, it was something like that. Something in between there. Like, the kid definitely has great, amazing talent, and he can only get better from here. And I like the fact that I feel like our offense, when it comes to the passing game, isn't dictated to one guy, right? I feel like all our receivers is capable of having that game. Not the 4 touchdowns. That's different. But to have like 7 catches for 100 yards or a 100-yard game and like a touchdown or a 2-touchdown game, I feel like all of our receivers, at least the first 4, Juju, Deontay, James, and Chase. And even you can kind of throw Ray McLeod in there because I'm starting to see him getting a little more involved into the offense. All these guys I feel is capable of having this type of game, and I feel like over time you will see all these guys, like eventually every one of these guys will have that type of game. And the way Ben just throws the ball to everyone. The first 2 games he threw it to 9 receivers. The 3rd game he threw it to 7 receivers. In this game he threw it to 8 receivers. 7 going to Claypool, 5 going to Ebron, 4 for Juju, 3 for James Washington, James Conner, and Ray McLeod, 1 for Vince McDonald, and Deontay Johnson had 1, but I'm pretty sure he would have had more. He ended up leaving the game after getting a direct hit to the back, and it's one of those things where it'll end your day. It'll definitely end your day. But Coach Tomlin after the game said, you can kind of expect him to play this week coming up. It was one of those where it's like, all right, we can take you out the game after a hit like that, you know. So shout out to Deontay Johnson, man. I already know you didn't want to come out the game. I know you're going to want to redeem yourself. I don't even want to say redeem yourself, but I know you're going to want to come back stronger and have a monster game this next game versus Cleveland. As far as our rushing, I felt like our rushing attack wasn't outstanding because you got to give the Eagles D-line, really front seven altogether, front eight or whatever, you got to give them credit as far as stopping the run or, kind of minimizing the run game. But I feel like we was able to do enough in the run game to have a rhythm so Ben can, pick them apart like a talent agent pretty much, So overall offense scored, let me see. How many drives? I want to say our best drive, our longest drive, I would have to say, goes to the first quarter where the Steelers, on the Steelers' second drive, it was a 16-play drive, 13 yards rushing, 36 yards passing, 7 minutes and 7 seconds. 16 plays. That's amazing. And I know the defense was Eagles defense was like, all right, we had to give up that touchdown. And that was actually the touchdown. Was that the touchdown to Claypool? That was the Claypool first rushing touchdown right there. But our offense had rhythm, man. You had a 10-play drive, 7-play drive, led the points. Both leading the points. A 6-play drive leading the points. 5-play. Like the Steelers, as far as like taking care of the ball, possession of the ball, pushing the ball, it was like we really had rhythm throughout the whole game, and I can really see that improving and staying consistent as far as like executing these things. And once Ben get that deep ball consistent, like I feel like he'll be able to after a while, like just reps. Man, look out, y'all. But the Steelers like I said, the Steelers ended up totaling 38 points. The first time we scored 30 points in 24 games. I know. 24 games. That's crazy. And we used to actually, a couple of years ago, 30 was like the goal. Like we was always trying to get 30 and kind of got there. But 24 games was crazy. But we got it. Shout out to Philly for allowing us to get 38 points. And hey man, shout out to Heinz Field because y'all deserve it, man. But if I have to give, of course, the MVP of offense will have to be Chase Claypool. He did it on the ground and in the air. So I would have to give him the nod over Ben and Ray McLeod. Yeah, it would have to be in Eric Ebron. I would definitely give it to Chase Claypool, and I think almost everybody will agree, except that Ben. Like, unless you want to give it to Ben. Like, I don't know how you can take it from the kid, though. I think the kid earned this one. And overall, I gave our offense, I want to say A minus. I'll give our offense an A minus, man, because I feel like the only thing that we could have done better, outside of, rushing the ball a little bit better, but I felt like it was good enough, but like, it wasn't like A+ where someone had 100 yards, we had 100 yards collectively, but not one player, so that can be an A minus. Receivers, that was good. Ben did get sacked. I know it's nitpicking, but a perfect game is a perfect game. You can't just throw A's around. So I give the Steelers offense A minus. Now let's move on to the defense. Now the defense, to me, looked like the week hurt them just a little bit. For the secondary, a lot of it. The secondary allowed this kid, Fulgham, 10 catches for 152 yards. And he was actually, I shout out to him. He was actually balling. He was balling. He was doing his thing. But to have someone do that, it's not. I know it's not acceptable. I know they don't accept that. I know they probably beat themselves up over that. But there were some guys who had good games on the defense. Shout out to TJ. TJ had a sack early in the day. First quarter, I believe. First drive, I believe. Stephon Tuitt had 1.5 sacks, 1.5 sacks. Stephon Tuitt had a key sack in the fourth quarter, a very key sack to kind of get the defense going, and I think that's when we put our foots on their necks. It was over after that. Cam Hayward had a sack. Shout out to Cam. Mike Hilton had a sack. I remember that. That was pretty decent. And but the issue for the defense was really just secondary, man. Allowing Carson to kind of get off. Towards the end, the second half, that's when it kind of buckled down a little bit, where Carson Wentz threw up 2 interceptions. Shout out to the guys who got the picks. Let me acknowledge them real quick. Steven Nelson had 2. How I forget that? I gotta think about that now. All right, I think I made a decision. I'll get into that in a minute. What I see from our defense is, hold up, Mika, bro, come on, man. I know I live in Carolina, but I'm from New Jersey, bro. We can't tackle like that. What? That? Nah, bro. Nope. Nah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened in your head, bro. But nah, we can't do that. Pittsburgh, we not tackling like that, bro. Nah, man. I don't know what's going on. Fix that. Other than that, I have a feeling that y'all, as a secondary, will get it under control. And I see in spurts that you guys, the secondary would shut stuff down. But I feel like if we don't get a pass rush, our secondary can be exposed to some degree until they tighten it up. And we was able to get a pass rush in the beginning of the game, not really in the middle of the game, but at the end of the game, I want to say the last 4 minutes, that's when it was like, all right, we started to wreck stuff. We started to get guys out of there, man. And like I said, Stephon Tuitt had a key sack. I believe, was that, who had the other half sack with him? I believe it was probably TJ. But anyway, the defense, and they kind of shut down their running game. I know Miles Sanders had a 74-yard touchdown, but he ended up having 80 yards for the game. So the Steelers end up kicking their ass in that department, kick their tail, and not allowing Philly to make the big play. All right, hold on. Before I even get into anything, getting to the next topic, let me wrap the defense up. I would have to give our defense a B-. I know y'all. I'll give them a B-. The only reason why it's a B- because when it was clutch time, the big ballers, the players, the superstars, the guys that deserves the money, they made plays. So that's where the B- come into play. But other than that, I felt like toward the second quarter, halfway through the first quarter, the Eagles was pretty much doing what they wanted to do. Even when they made that little comeback, because it was at a point where the Steelers were up 30-something to, it was we was up by we was definitely up by 3 possessions. And they was able to just kind of chop it down to the point that we're only up by 2. You know what I mean? So that's unacceptable. I feel like the offense is going to play that good. The defense should play better. You know, to shut teams down. That should have been like maybe a 40-3 or a 40-10 game. You know, something like that. If the defense played to the level that I know the defense can play to, so I get a defense of B-. But this is tough though. If the MVP of the defense, to me, would have to probably go to. It's tough, man. I'll say Steven Nelson. 2 picks, even though one of the picks was like Carson just threw it to throw it. But the one pick he did get was so clutch because the Eagles, every time the Steelers would score, the Eagles would come back, score. Steelers would score. Eagles come back, score. But that one pick kind of changed momentum in our favor. It's like, okay, we can kind of separate things until they made that little comeback. But we ended up finishing the deal. And honestly, I don't know what would have happened, but for Doug Peterson to send his kicker out there for a 57-yard field goal or 57-yard field goal at Heinz Field with the history of kicking at Heinz Field, you, sir, will be considered the donkey of the day, the GOAT, the GOAT, and I'm not talking about the good one. You know, I'm gonna let Philly chew you up, man. But Steelers got the dub, 4-0, still a gang. I'm going back to sleep, and I'm out.